to introduce my wife, Ruth. Before I do so, I grew up in this town, and for a large part of my adult life, I was away from town. So I've recently come back and planted my roots here again with my family. So I'd like Ruth to share some of her story and our story as well. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having this day.
Yeah.
We are excited to be a part of it. Josh mentioned change, so I wanted to remind everybody that change itself has been the constant in people's lives. And while we don't always acknowledge it, it's constantly changing, right? Change is always part of us. And so we need to remember that. We have, in the last few months, have experienced many changes in our lives. And among those changes is the fact that we are celebrating this day. Also that we are aware of the racial injustice in this country. As a mixed family, I'm originally from Ghana, and moving to this country was a dream, and it's come to fruition. And I'm grateful to be part of this day. One of the things that mixed family for us, we notice, is the color. And in that color comes all the beauty of this world. And the reason why color is important is that every now and then you hear some people say, they don't see color. The truth is, you see color. Color is everywhere. So it is visible, and it's the first thing we notice. I wanted to share a story about my kids. Makeda, my oldest, and Isaiah, they called my parents Brown, Grandma, and Grandpa. And they called my husband's parents Orange, Grandma, and Grandpa. And for a long time, it was obviously, it's funny, because how can you notice, we say white, but they saw orange. And we're not being politically correct, because that's not important. What's important is that when you visibly see someone, that is what you see. Now, to say you don't see it is taken away from that person. So I wanted to put that out there. As a mixed family, we enjoy the fact that when you look at us, you see the color. Hence what we're wearing today. One of the things that we hoped to find when we moved to Portland was to be able to see ourselves in other people in this town. And fortunately for us, we've seen a lot of people who look like us. We don't just have our kids look around and see people who don't look anything like them. We actually have visibly seen people who look like them, which is wonderful, because again, I grew up in Ghana, and I grew up in predominantly Black community. And my husband growing up here had his white community. But now we're able to have those mixed families, and we see it in everybody. So we're grateful for that as well, for our kids to have that upbringing. And then I wanted to lastly touch on when Joshua said the lion's story. Having a mixed family, we have the desire to have that background noticed. And it's important for us, and it's important for you, as we learn from each other, to really enjoy the diversity in our community and in the people who live in our community. So I hope today you all look around and see yourselves in us. Thank you.